The COVID-19 pandemic has affected all small businesses in the U.S. Virgin Islands, but there is help to move your business forward. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is available to assist entrepreneurs and small businesses. The VISBDC is the territory's #1 resource for small businesses and is sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and provides one-on-one advising, business education training, and technical assistance at no cost. Attend workshops by experts from both the public and private sectors. From idea generation to exit strategies, the staff at the VISBDC are ready to assist you. So don't wait. Call, email, or visit them on the web at www.visbdc.org and Facebook, or simply download their mobile app on the Apple or Google Play Store. Just search VISBDC. Discover how they can help your business grow and succeed.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the VISBDC's Veteran Focus webinar in collaboration with the Veterans Business Outreach Center of Puerto Rico. America's SBDC Virgin Islands is proud to participate in a national effort called the Inclusivity Challenge. Our part in this challenge is to do better and connect with active military veterans and their families to grow veteran-owned businesses and extend support to the economic prosperity of the territory. Retired U.S. Army Sergeant First Class Juan Marrero joined the VBOC Region 2 team in April 2019 as outreach specialist to provide business training, counseling, and mentoring to veteran entrepreneurs in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Juan is bilingual in English and Spanish and brings a unique skill set and familiarity to the population he serves in the region as they start or grow their own small business. Juan was an active duty service member for 22 years. He has an extensive training background, skilled as a highly qualified professional in the manufacturing industry, and experience providing ERP or enterprise resource planning services such as software testing, production support, training, and solutions implementation. Juan completed a technical degree in computer and network repair AutoCAD from the Universal Technology College of Puerto Rico and studied chemistry at Inter-American University of Puerto Rico. So as Juan shares your screen, we're gonna just give you a friendly reminder to place your questions in the chat, and they'll be addressed by Juan either in the chat or later during the question and answer segment. A copy of this presentation is available upon email request to info@visbdc.org. We encourage you to take a few minutes after this training to fill out the survey that lets us know how we are doing. So without further ado, Juan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Like always, really, it's a pleasure for me. It's an honor for me to be part of these webinars from the SBDC over there in Virgin Islands. I'm here stationed in Puerto Rico. If you heard, I'm a veteran myself. I was in the Army for 22 years, active duty, served most of my time overseas within Germany, Korea, and my last 3 years here in Puerto Rico. My goal is to help and trying to provide all the tools necessary for veterans and even military that are transitioned to the civilian life with the tools necessary to open their own business. Myself, always, while I was in the Army, planning to retire one day, always had the plan, the idea actually to open a business, and always pushed it to the end. I retired, got a job, in the private sector, and kept pushing it. And I'll tell you what, I'm always asking why, but it's just it's fear. It's fear to to go through these ventures by yourself, and it was, for me, it was hard. And then actually I went to Fort Buchanan one time, and I took the Boots to Business course, and it opened my eyes. It was a different picture, and how easy is actually to pursue the owning your own business. So I encourage you, that take my word. If I did it, you can do it. I work with VBOC. I'm a private contractor, so I got my own business, and that's how I got this job. Very flexible, a lot easier than the Army, okay? And it's a way of living that for me, every veteran should at least try. So another thing is you're never alone. You got in Virgin Islands, you got an excellent team over there in the SBDC. And if you have it, please use it. I mean, they're there for you to help you, to give you the same thing, the same tools, mentorship. They have experience. They've done this before. So why not? Just try. Just go to the SBDC office over there in Virgin Islands and just give it a try. And you see that you will come up satisfied with your endeavor of opening a business. So thank you for your service. Just like I did. I know it's not easy. Doesn't matter if you did a couple of years or you did a whole career in the military. It's always a challenge, not just for you and your family. And that's another thing that I want to mention. All these tools that we provide for the veteran to open their own business, they're accessible for their immediate family, for the spouses, for the children. Okay, so if they have an idea and they would like to open a business, they're more than welcome, to come to VBOC and actually get the tools, the mentorship, and the coaching to make these things happen. So today we're going to be talking about something that is honestly the showstopper. I remember I brought this webinar last year over here in the Virgin Islands, and I'm doing it again because it's so important. This is the showstopper for most veterans. They don't want to go through the whole process on trying to get capital, to get ready, to find out what do you need actually to make it happen. So over here, we're gonna be talking about the basics, because honestly, we need to start from the basics to make it complex, right? So we're gonna be talking about how hard you think it is, but it's real easy. Okay, I went through the same thing, because the thing is, when we're talking about financing, we're talking about we need to minimize that financing. You need to get what you need, what you want, and that's one thing that I went through and I had to learn. Because of being in the military, I was very, very pushed myself into planning and planning and trying to make it perfect. Okay, so I was trying to get more money than what I needed just in case. So this is not the case. We need to find out exactly what do you need it for, and then we need to find out where do you need to go get the money. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that in the next couple slides. Today's objective is to understand what type of financings are available for your business, because it's not just the bank. We make the mistake that I have to get a loan to open a business. No, you don't. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. Understand the difference between debt and equity. Do I have to get myself in debt to open a business? Not necessary. Okay, so we're going to explain that too. And we're going to explore what lenders and investors look for when deciding whether to finance your small business or not. Okay. So I got a small video here. It's called The Money Game. And I really like this video because it's straight to the point. And you as a military, we like straight to the point videos or instructions. That's what I meant. So this one here is going to open your eyes about capital, for you looking for capital. Okay, so let's pay attention to this video.
Most young companies need money, which may or may not come as a big surprise, but they do. The number one source they get money from is from their own savings, whether it's a few $100s or even thousands of dollars. That's what we tend to tap first. And a lot of companies don't get money from any other place. They get money from their own savings. And then after that, they're lucky enough to be cash flow positive. They're profitable. So we talk a lot as if all companies require all sorts of external capital. And the reality is that more than half of young companies get all their funding from a combination of founder savings and then cash flow from the business. And we're out of here. Next up on the list is another one that catches, I think, people by surprise, and that's credit cards. Almost every young company you can think of, to one degree or another, was funded on credit cards. And it is the single largest source of capital for young companies after founder savings. And then the next place where they tend to get money is from friends and family. After I've tapped out my credit card and I've used up all my savings, I turn to people I know and say, hey, will you help me? And that's the third biggest source of capital. And then the next place is banks. And the banks are a totally weird situation because with banks, they get a lot of attention, but they actually fund very, very few young companies. But it's not their fault. You have to think about the way bank lending works and how shareholders want banks to lend. They want them to lend money against secured assets. And young companies don't have any security. They have nothing to secure it against. And the joke in the industry is you can get all the bank funding you want as a startup as long as you don't need it. And then the last piece is venture capitalists. They get the lion's share of the attention, which in some ways is warranted. You know, your Googles and Apples and FedExes and many others all have venture capital money inside of them. But the reality is, and this is from Kaufman Research, less than 20% of the fastest growing companies in the United States took any venture money. And that's not because the VCs wouldn't give it to them. It's because they didn't want it or didn't need it, because they had all those other sources. I don't need money, and I certainly don't need money on these terms. Because, you know, venture capitalists, unlike banks, they don't lend against secured assets. They give you money in exchange for shares. So they take some of your company away. So my answer is if you don't need it, definitely don't get it. There's no question the venture industry has become staid. The irony is it's intended to fund disruption, and yet it's an industry that have become complacent. And interestingly, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've seen the emergence of other mechanisms for funding like AngelList, like these kinds of peer-to-peer funding sources, as people increasingly provide capital in smaller amounts, but more people doing it directly. Having said all of that, though, venture capitalists are hugely important for those young companies that don't have access to bank money, but are growth companies. They have the prospect of being a $5 million or a $10 million company in a couple of years, and they need that growth capital to get there quickly. So it's a race. And the way you play the race is by getting money from people like venture capitalists who give you the money so you can compete with other people who are racing as fast as you are. If you can run a company off cash flow and some combination of credit card, your own savings, and friends and family, you know, Bob's your uncle, run, you know, keep all the equity, because, you know, there's no better thing than being in full control of your own destiny.
Okay, so very clear. If you don't need it, don't get it. Okay, so that's one of the problems that I see with veterans trying to find capital sometimes. They're trying to be so secure. They're trying to be so careful about the planning and the execution that they said, okay, let me get more just in case, okay? And the video is very specific about the banks. The banks is not an easy thing for a new company to get money, to get capital, to get a loan, because there's no security. You're just starting. Okay, and just put yourself in the bank's shoes. You know, how can I let you borrow whatever amount if I don't know your security? And that's why normally, you know, that you end up taking a personal loan or trying to get collateral or anything to secure that loan through the banks. Okay, so why do we need funding? And that's what these 3 boxes right here explain. There's 3 reasons why we need money. When you open a business, of course, the first thing you have problems with is your cash flow. Why? Because you just open, right? You don't have a client base. You don't know when to go, you know, you're trying to break even. You just started, you know, maybe 6 months, could be a year for you to break even. We don't know. That's why we do a lot of research and we do a lot of analysis trying to find out when less, you know, more or less you're gonna break even. So why do you need cash flow? You know, it's right here. It said inventory must be purchased, employee must be trained and paid, advertising. Okay, so it's different things that we need money from sales to keep our business running. And right now, right away, you're missing that. So that's why most likely you need capital, you know, to have that fuel, to that fuel source, you know, to make sure your machinery, you know, your business continues to work and push forward. So you need to, you know, and we help you with that. SBDC can help you with that, you know, to come up with these numbers that you need, through mentorship and coaching, of course, to see how much money do you need to make it happen. So cash flow is the first one. And just think about it. And it changes, depends on the industry that you're working on. Okay, I always use myself as a business. I provide professional business solutions, right? Professional services. And for me, it might be a lot different from somebody that's trying to open a restaurant. In a restaurant, you need a lot of physical things that I don't need as a professional service provider. So it depends on the industry that you're working on. It depends how big that you're trying to be in the beginning. And we always encourage for you to start small. But anyhow, the thing is, cash flow challenge is the first thing is going to hit you in the face. So we need to plan to see how we're going to mitigate that problem. The second one is capital investment. Okay, and this one is your rent, equipment that you need to buy. Okay, so it's something that you need to also to make sure your business is starts from the beginning and continues to run properly. So this is, there's different type of loans, the different type of organization that can help you with this. The real estate, the equipment, and stuff like that. And the last one is something that you don't hear a lot, but I've been actually hearing about it lately more than I thought. It's lengthy product development cycles. Okay. If you take the Boost to Business course, it's a module there that's going to talk to you about revenue, how to make revenue. Okay. And it's going to talk to you about revenue drivers. So when you open a business, the type of business that you open in is based on one product, you got to make sure that one product is enough to be able to create that cash flow that you're going to need for inventory and employees, etc. Right? That one product is going to be enough to do capital, for the real estate, for your rent, for your equipment. But then most people realize that one product is not enough. Okay, and what happened? They start developing another product, or they start developing accessories for your main product, and that takes time and money. And that's what lengthy product development cycle is. When one time you open, you realize that you need to come up with a different product or revenue driver. Okay, so these three reasons right here are the main ones. There's other ones, don't get me wrong, but this one right here is the one we've seen that is the one that right away, before you open your doors, you need to take care of these three things right here for you to be successful. Okay, take a look at this graphic right here. Very interesting. Where the startup get their funding. Okay, this comes from a Kaufman Foundation, and this was pretty new. This is updated. It's been updated, I think, last year. So startup funding, mostly 35% is debt. We talk about loans, borrowing money. Okay, but then you see 30%, this is the next one, is personal savings. So it's very important that if you're gonna get into owning a business, you need to put some money to the side, to get into this process. It's not easy. And to mitigate the issues about borrowing, or maybe somebody investing in your company, for you to have more control. Okay, 25% is a combo of different things. Okay, I can take a little bit of a loan. I can have an investor using some of my savings. Okay, and 10% is equity. Get investors coming into your business. Okay, we're gonna be touching that very well in a little bit. Okay, preparing to raise debt, preparing to find that capital, preparing to get that money. Number one, and you're gonna hear this more than once through the whole presentation, determine precisely how much money is needed. Precisely, okay? And that's how you're gonna do all your research in the beginning. You're gonna, because opening a business, you know, take different phases, right? Different levels of preparation. And you need to actually be very precise on how much money you're gonna need to open and then to go all the way to your break-even point. Number two, determine what type of financing you're looking for or is more appropriate for your business. Am I gonna go to the loans road, you know, and go debt into banks or organizations that let me borrow their money? Even family, okay? And let me touch that real quick about family borrowing, okay? I had a good friend of mine. This is a personal story. It's not in my business. It was a personal. His uncle let him borrow $25,000 to. He was struggling in his business, and he needed some money to get some inventory and to pay the employees and stuff like that. So he got $25,000 from uncle, and actually helped him a lot. And a year or so, in a family reunion, he got back to the uncle, put it to the side, and gave him a check for $30,000. And say, "Hey, uncle, you know, you really helped me out last year. It's $25,000. You know, it got me out of a hole, and I'm doing real good. Here's 30,000. Thank you very much." And the uncle said, "Oh, no, I didn't let you borrow no money. I am also investing in your company. So 25% of your company is mine." And it was pretty sad. I mean, it was a big legal battle, and my friend actually spent more in lawyers and in his defense, and trying to get the point across that actually the $25,000 that he borrowed. So you just take that point that to you know, everything that you do in your company has to be documented. It doesn't matter if it's a family, a spouse. So when you get capital and you do anything within your business territory, document everything, make it legal. All right, just to, you know, to be clear. All right. And step 3 is to develop a strategy engaging potential investors and bankers. And the business plan is going to help you a lot. A business plan is a tool that is not just for you to have a picture of what your business is all about, and you can show the banks and you can show the investors what you're all about. But the business plan is going to help you actually make managing decisions. So get very serious when you're building the business plans. And over there in Virginia and SBDC, they're very good at this. So make sure you take your time and get to know your business plan. All right. So this is three things you need to know prior looking for capital. So here's the questions again. And the first one, I'll tell you, we're going to mention this a few times. How much money do you need? Okay. And this money, you're going to know how much you need based on projections. This is not an estimate. Most likely, no, most likely. You need projections. And you're going to learn this when you do market analysis, you know, when you do everything about the location of your business, about clients, you know, about clients' data, you know, what is your client picture, how it's going to be. Are you going to be focused in older people? Are you going to be younger generation? Is you going to be for everybody? It's going to be for women? It's going to be for men? So all these analysis and research is going to help you create these projections, and that's how you're going to know how much. That's how you're going to know how much money do you need. What will I use the money for? Okay. And remember, it's your business and the money goes 100% to your business. We're talking about equipment, inventory, working capital, marketing, real estate, all right? It's not for a new car, you know, it's not for traveling, you know, it's not for nothing like that. It's straight up for your business. Be very disciplined about this, please. What type of funding do I need? Are you going to go in the debt route and you're going to bring the equity, right? So we need to answer these questions prior we're going actually for capital, right? Looking for capital. How will I pay the loan back? If you're going to take a loan, how am I going to pay it back? Because remember, we're having some challenges in the beginning. We talk about the cash flow challenge. We're talking about capital. We're talking about lengthy product sales cycle. So if I don't have the money, how am I going to pay it back? Okay, so this also requires some financial projections and cash flow analysis. How do I find a lender? All right, it's different ways to find a lender. You know, your SBA team, you have a SBA in the Virgin Islands too, and through the SBDC, you know, and they can get you through these different ways to find a lender. You know, see if your existing lender, the small business, you know, you own a house, you have a loan with a different bank or whatever, and you want to try it, you know, and see if they actually do small business financing to help you out. You go try it. What funds do I have to invest in the business? And what's my credit score? A credit score is something that is a working process, and the earlier you get into it, the better it's gonna be. So that's why I always put it there in the slides. Here's different sources of financing. All right, you have personal funds, commercial loans, SBA guarantee loans. And let me do a little parenthesis there. SBA don't let you borrow money, but they guarantee the money that you will borrow from banks. Okay, and that's another class that we can talk about that. Crowdsourcing, that's something that's getting bigger and bigger every time. Micro loans is 50,000 and below that you need. Micro loans the way to go. Also, you got the angel investors, the private offerings, the VCs, the private equity, and the IPOs. We're going to be talking about those individually. So personal funds, that's what I told you in the beginning. If you're going to open a business, if you have an idea and you're developing that idea and you're trying to create a concept, you better come up with some savings. You need to put some money away towards your goal. All right, so you need skin in the game before you seek any external funding. It's your business, so you know, make sure you put some capital to the side for that idea. Then you got different sources of personal funding. You know, you got your cash savings, bootstrapping techniques. We're gonna be talking in a few slides about bootstrapping. It's something that it must be done. It's not a choice. It must be done. Okay. And what is bootstrapping? Just getting what you need without spending much on it. Home equity, friends and family, credit cards. Okay, credit cards, something that everybody listen to those two words, credit cards, and they get a little nervous. Why? Because they take discipline to actually do it. Like the video in the beginning said, most business in the United States were funded using credit cards. All right, equities and stock portfolio and retirement accounts. So this is just personal funds that you can get into those funds trying to get capital for your business. So bootstrapping, what is bootstrapping? It's finding ways to avoid the need for external financing or funding through creativity, ingenuity, thriftiness, cost cutting, and any means necessary. All right. So buying used instead of new equipment, coordinating purchases with other business, sharing office space with other business, leasing equipment instead of buying, obtaining payments in advance for customers, making do what you have, crowdfunding, you know, and sorry, I'll call you skimming. Obtain payment in advance for customers, making do what you have, like I said, crowdfunding and vendor financing. So you just need to be creative. I've seen a lot of clients, like for example, they create different type of products and like manually make like cups and plates and stuff like that. And I've seen him asking for a deposit. Why? Because they're starting, they don't have cash flow. And that had worked. It worked for them. So just be creative, look at different things. If you're in the restaurant business, for example, it's a bunch of restaurants that went through, you know, hardship during the pandemic over here and through the hurricanes or whatever, and they're selling equipment used, so in good state. So it's a good choice to go that route. So the main thing about bootstrapping is, you know, is to avoid to try to get that loan, is to avoid to get yourself in debt right away. All right. So just be creative about it. Here's the differences: debt versus equity. Okay. Just letting you read the slide. Equity, we're going to be talking about it, but equity is something that make sure you educate yourself before you get into investors. Okay. It's different ways to deal with investors. You know, sometimes the money is not paid back, sometimes maybe. All right. So it depends how you made that contract. Okay. It means you have shareholders. So in other words, somebody else owns part of your company. All right. So we're going to be talking about that. So here's debt. All right. It provides liquidity. It's not an investment. You know, you're getting some money from the bank, put it into your business, and you pay it back monthly. All right. It requires the 5 C's. Talk about credit, collateral, commitment, character, cash flow. So we need to work on those 5 C's. Before you get to the bank, make sure that credit is good, the unique collateral that you have it. Okay, so just make sure those 5 C's are taken care of. So you get that peace of mind when you go to the bank. Don't forget about your local community banks, credit unions. Sometimes, you know, it's better to start to having a relationship with those banks in case you need financing or capital from them. And also, always in the back of your mind, always put that little space for growing. All right, your business, one time you start and everything goes according to your plan, then you're going to have that idea about growing, you know, to make it bigger or to open another one. So having this relationship with these banks will help a lot, believe me. Okay, so if you choose to take a loan, right, to go to a lender and trying to get some money, what they're looking for. So first thing you need to put together, and like I said, is very important, is your business plan, right? It's many ways to do business plans. Go to USBDC and talk to these people over there. I mean, they've done this a bunch of times. A business plan is I always compare it to a resume, your personal resume, but it's the resume of your business. Because you're opening a new business, sometimes there's not much to put in there. Okay, but like I said before about projections, about the planning, it's very important that all that information is actually breaking down in the business plan. Why? Because it's going to help you, not showing the banks, the lenders, what you're going to do, but it's going to show how you're going to do it. All right, and the potential that your business has for success. Collateral, you know, I've seen most banks need security. And how they get security? They get through injection or collateral. All right, they need that extra just in case. Another thing is the guarantee loans from the SBA, and not just the SBA. You have other government agencies that provide this guarantee, like USDA, and that's a little security for the banks. Okay, good credit score. Like I said before, the earlier you get into this, the easier it's going to be. All right, so get into it. Financial projections, and this financial projection is gonna reflect in your business plan. All right, 1 to 3 years, so that way they see how you're gonna grow. Personal tax returns and basic personal and business information. Believe it or not, I've seen loans get rejected because missing personal information, basic information. Okay, so it's just be very specific about this. All right, main reason loans are approved: credit. All right, too much previous debt. All right, so remember I told you in the last slide that always in the back of your mind have a little space for growing. So be careful, because if you take a lot in the beginning, it's gonna be hard for you to grow, to get more capital to grow. So if you have too much previous debt, you're not going to get it, right? So start working on that. Not enough time in the business, industry perceived as risky, not enough collateral, cash flow not strong enough, incomplete application and paperwork, like I said in the slide before. So this is most of the elements that we see that people are getting rejected on the loan. So we need to work on it to make sure, is to get that peace of mind when you go to the bank. Talk about the SBA loan guarantees. All right, so the SBA doesn't give you money, but through the banks, they let you borrow money. All right. So here in Puerto Rico, we have like three major banks. All right, and all three work with the SBA in the guarantee programs. So it's like I said, it's just a little security for the bank to be able to let you borrow money. All right, it goes through the bank. You have to go through the bank, and the bank actually has the paperwork to do the SBA loan guarantee. I'm going to tell you this from the very beginning. Okay, if you decide to go to the SBA guarantee program, it's gonna take a lot more paperwork to get this done. Why? Because you're gonna have to do the bank required paperwork, and you're gonna have to actually show up with, come up with the SBA guarantee program documents they had to fill up too. Okay, so be prepared for that. I get a lot of people say, "Oh, Juan, oh my God, there's so much stuff they had to come up with." Yeah, because it's two different type of standards here that you need to actually go through. Okay. Here's some of the programs. You get from $500 to $5.5 million to fund your small business. SBA guarantee loans range from small to large and can be used for most business purposes. So it's not just for inventory, or it's not just for salary, training, equipment. Okay, it can be used for pretty much everything. SBA approved lenders can match you with the right loan for your business needs. Okay, because when you go to the SBA had different type of loans, and they have some from veterans too. And also, I'm going to tell you this ahead. Even though the SBA have a loan that is pretty much customized for the veteran, be very careful when you go to the bank, because what I've seen so far is that this loan, the rates are kind of a little higher than a normal loan. So if you might end up paying more, even though it's customized for the veteran. And I'm going to tell you what they say customized to the veteran. All right. The thing is that sometimes you don't have to pay some closing fees. You don't have to, there's a few fees that you don't have to pay as a veteran. But if they're going to give you a higher rate, you got to be careful. So just when you go there, make sure you have a mentor, make sure you have somebody that's done this before to help you out. Okay. Here's some of the loans. The community advantage, you go to 250. Okay. Really like the microloans. The microloans here in Puerto Rico, we got 3 different organizations. I don't know about the Virgin Islands, but I bet you the SBDCs can help you with this. And they're more flexible about different conditions. In other words, they're more flexible about the 5 C's. Okay. Even about paying back, is there some flexibility that you don't see in normal banks? So if you need 50,000 or less, just give the microloans a chance and go through it and see how far can you get. And actually, I really recommend it. All right. The 7 Alpha, okay, is the primary business loan program, and one of the one that we use a lot. The 504 is for the real estate and long-term use of equipment only. Okay, and the Express program, it loans amount to 500,000, right? So this is all guaranteed loan programs. Okay. Okay, here's what I said before about the fee relief for veteran borrowers. All right, is 0 upfront guarantee fees on SBA Express loans for military community members, including soon to be discharged soldiers. Like I said, is going through the TAP program, the Transition Assistance Program. Reservists, National Guard members, they're active as a reservist, reservists and active as the National Guard members, veterans, current spouse, and any of the above, and widow spouse of service members of veteran who died during the service from service-related disability. So that's the eligibility for you to be get that fee relief from the loans. Here's the eligibility requirements. Okay, it's pretty much based on the business. Okay, eligibility is not into your income or the character of ownership. It's pretty much about the type of business that you put in together. Okay, normally businesses must meet size standards. In other words, you need to be able to repay, right? And the lender will provide you a full list of eligibility requirements for your loan. All right, so like I said before, if you're trying to get into the SBA guarantee program, the first thing you need to do is make sure the bank that you're going to use, it has the program. It's been briefed by the SBA and provides these programs for you. Not just the SBA provide the program, but the USDA provides it too. All right, so just pay attention to those two. Which one is better for you? Because a lot of people by the USDA, they think it has to be into the agriculture industry. No, you don't. No, you don't. The USDA is helping a lot of people right now. For example, if your business is in a rural location, they're helping a lot of businesses on rural locations because they're into rural development. So, that's another thing you should write down just in case you want to give a call the USDA and find out the rural development program that they provide. Okay. So I like this slide right here because straight to the point again, if your business falls into one of these categories, the SBA cannot provide you with the guarantee program. All right. Talk about gambling and speculation, real estate investments, and others speculative activities. Okay. Airbnb. All right, so you're trying to make a business. Sorry, if you're trying to make a business and make it Airbnb, they don't help you with that. Lending activities, multi-level marketing firms, businesses providing sexual material. Marijuana industry. A lot of people say Juan, but hey, this is for medical purposes and it's legal. Well, it is legal in state side, in the state side of the house, but it's not legal federal. And this SBA financing program is through a federal agency, so it's not yet. Okay, all right. Religious organization, non-profit organization, something that need to think about that. Illegal activities, of course, and borrowers that have default federal loans or financing. This was a big one, believe it or not. I had a client that had a long time student loan. Those student loans that we just sometimes put to the side for a little while, and he had one. Okay, and he couldn't get money from the bank through the SBA financing because he was default on that student loan. All right, so just for your information, okay. All right, get with your local SBA team. All right, and through the SBDC, you guys can get with Wayne over there in the SBA from the SBA, and trying to get help to get the right lender. All right, talk to you about the USDA loans. It's pretty much the same program, okay, different agency. But the thing with the USDA is they're very hot about that rural development, right? And Puerto Rico and Virgin Island, we're mostly rural. So let's take advantage of this, all right? They help a lot into the new business startup expenses, acquiring existing businesses, and purchasing land, buildings, and facilities, and the modernization of their business improvements. They're very hot about getting to the solar energy, okay? And then they help with a percentage. Sometimes they can pay up to 25, 35, 50% of if you want to upgrade to solar energy. So just get with the USDA guys. They can help, right? Okay, I pretty much covered this. Okay, so we talk about debt. Now we're going to talk about equity. So equity involves investors. So if you don't feel comfortable with somebody owning part of your company from the very beginning, this is not for you, okay? Most of the time, it's not payback. The investments, their investment is usually in exchange for partial ownership of your company, okay? But look at the last bullet right there. For me, this is so key. Can have benefits beyond the money invested, okay? So very important that you know that. If I'm gonna get somebody to invest in my business, it better bring more than money, okay? It better bring more than money. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about experience, okay? Knowledge about the industry. And not just that, contacts. Trying to make it easier for me to develop and actually create my business, okay? So always remember that. If you're gonna bring in investors, they're gonna be part of your business, gonna be owner of your business, part owner, make sure he brings more than money. Because sometimes when the investors come in and they just have the money, it creates so much stress to your side. And they're just laying back, waiting for results. And you have to do all the work, okay? So make sure you remember that part. Here's different sources of equity. Crowdfunding, angel investors, venture capital. I'm gonna talk about the other ones before, okay? So what I've seen so far, venture capital is there, okay? Is your Googles, your FedEx, your Facebooks, but less than 20% of nationwide new small business get venture capital. And you know why? Because for you to be able to get venture capital, you have to have at least 2 years of experience, okay? So it's very important that you understand that. It takes at least 2 years. So that's why crowdfunding and investors is the primary part of the equity financing. So what is crowdfunding? There's many websites out there that can help you with crowdfunding. Okay, I'm not want to mention because it's not my job to tell you which one it is, but there's some examples of crowdfunding. The good thing about crowdfunding is you have a wider net of potential investors. This is worldwide. People can actually put money in your business, to help you out. Cons, you may not want the crowd to be part owner of your business. Okay, and I'll give you an example. It was a product that used to be called the coolest cooler, and it was one of those coolers to put beers and water, whatever, to go to the beach. And these guys came up with this crazy looking cooler with wide tires and speakers, Bluetooth speakers, battery. It had a blender on top to make margaritas or whatever drinks, and it was a high-speed looking cooler. And they put it in this website, to actually create funding. And what started like a game ended up with $13 million. Okay, so they put it on the website, and a few times later, they had $13 million worth of funding to make the cooler. They had some issues. That's a different class, okay? They had some issues. They couldn't do it the right way, and they almost got sued. They couldn't secure the funding to go back to the people that give it to them, and they ended up losing money, due to specifications of the cooler they thought was cheaper doing it this way, and it didn't work. And they actually spend more money per cooler to make it happen. So just to let you know, the crowdfunding is something that could work. I mean, it can provide a lot of funding for you, but those two things in the bottom, the pros and cons, think about it, especially the cons. You can have a lot of people involved in your business. It's something that you probably don't want, okay? Angel investors and the venture capitals already talk about that, but the angel investors are individuals whose only purpose is to invest their personal capital in your business. Okay. Business angels are valuable because of their willingness to make small investments and for their industry knowledge and market connections. So those two elements right there, industry knowledge and market connection, you need that. There's something that when you start as a small business owner, you don't have. And that can help you for the development and the success of your business. So make sure when you're looking for an investor, it has three elements: the money, of course, the industry knowledge, and the market connection. Okay. And here is three statements. And we put this at the end of the module, actually the class, because as an owner, you need to learn and understand that you need to know what is these three statements that I'm going to be talking about right here. You are not the expert that put it together. Okay. You might have an accountant, somebody that keeps your books, right? But you need to know where the money is coming from. Understand? Okay. This right here is the balance sheet. In the bottom, it says, this is a snapshot of assets and claims against those assets. Shows what the company owes, and how it's financed. So very important, right? Because right here is letting you know what is yours, what is not yours, and what is financed in this statement. Okay. One thing that a lot of people get shocked about is account receivables. Right here, account receivables are a big chunk of money. Okay. An account receivable, I know you know, but I'm gonna say anyhow, account receivable is money that you sold, but you don't have yet. Okay. And it depends on the terms. It could be 90 days before you see that money. And I've seen businesses going from bad to worse in 3 months. So be careful with account receivables. Make sure those terms are in your favor. All right, good enough. The next one is the income statement. The income statement shows revenue, right? Money that you're making, and expenses, and provides a bottom line, what the profit is all about in your business, okay? So it's telling you how much you're spending, how much you're making, and the profit. And it depends on your industry. These numbers right here could be great for you and could be not too great. Why? Because you're looking at net sales in the top, it's over $1 million. And when I see that my income in the bottom is 18,000. And it depends what you're doing, okay? That could be good or could be bad. All right. So people may think you're moving money instead of making money. And like I said, it depends. Like for me, if I'm doing professional services and I'm moving over $1 million through all my clients, but at the end I'm making $18,000 a month, I'll be happy. Right now, I'll be happy. $18,000 a month, I'll be happy. I just to let you know. All right. And the last one is the flow statement. Over here, it shows sources and uses of cash. I like that one, uses of cash. You as a business owner, you need to know what the money is going to, okay? As well as net change on cash over a specific period, okay? So over here, if I'm an owner of this business, I'm reading through all these things, you know, I go always to the to the financing activities. Go right there, I see what they're doing with my money. Okay. And one thing that I would be worried about is the insurance of stock, $600,000. You know, you'd be like, who approved that? All right. So just to let you know, it's just, you don't need to be the expert in how the money, all these numbers are coming from. But as an owner, you need to know exactly what things are here, what elements in these tables are very important to keep track of your money. of your business. Okay. Okay, so key takeaways of today's webinar. Like I said in the beginning, you know, behind your mind a little bit, just plan for future growth. Okay, it could be a year, a couple of years, could be 5 years, right? You never know. But plan for future growth in your business. Know the difference between debt and equity. We talk about it today. We told you what debt is. We tell you what equity is. Understand how much money you need. Precisely, remember? And what lenders are looking for. That we made that list of different things that they're looking for. The SBA, and I should add right here, SBA and USDA loan programs can provide financial assistance for a variety of business needs. Okay, so just take these key takeaways and sit down and make sure you cover each one of those elements and make sure you're educated and you are ready when you are ready to get capital. Okay, any questions? Okay, so thank you for attending today's webinar. This is something that I like to do with SBDC and the Virgin Islands, because they always like to help the veterans, and I'm all about veterans. So, you know, my name is Juan Marrero. I'm stationed, like I always say, I'm still military. I'm stationed in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. And but if you need anything, I mean, just can give me a call, and or the SBDC, and actually we're here to help you out. We're here to support the veteran. Remember, you earn this. This is free. All right, this is something that we provide you because what you did in the military. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you spend a year or two in the military or you spend 30 years in the military. You're still a veteran and you're still important for us. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
All righty. So we don't have any questions in the chat, but I'll go ahead and say that the VI SBDC has so much more in store for USVI small businesses. And we'd like to invite you to our website so you can benefit from our resources and more training webinars as such. So our website is www.visbdc.org. You can download the VI SBDC app on your mobile device from the appropriate app store. Like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google My Business for live updates and new uploads of our on-demand webinars. Thank you for your time. On behalf of the VI SBDC, we want you to have a great day. And let me just highlight a few upcoming webinars while we're here. This afternoon, we have the SBA, and they're going to be doing a presentation on how to secure an SBA guarantee loan for your business. No, that's incorrect. They're going to be presenting on the 8A Business Development Program. We also have on the 26th, a customer service webinar entitled Don't Lose Another Customer. On the 27th, we have Score with Content Marketing, what to say and how to say it. And then the 31st, we have an introduction to the PTAC Center for the Virgin Islands. So I don't see any questions. Juan, thank you for your time, and everyone enjoy your day.
You're welcome.